I'm Scott Crow of Ocean Aquatics, and you're watching Ocean Aquatics TV. And today we're doing a video on 101 on corals. We get a lot of questions every day here in the shop. Are corals plants? Are they animals? Are they something in between? Corals are animals. They're living, breathing animals, and they're invertebrates. Now, these fascinating and colorful group of invertebrates are from the group called cnidarians. Cnidarians consist from the group of jellyfish, corals, and anemones. Now, what makes these characteristics so special is the way that they only have one special designer characteristic, and that is they have one single mouth, a simple stomach, and they have stinging tentacles. Each individual animal is called a polyp. Now, this is where it gets really cool. As the polyps reproduce, and they reproduce asexually, they create a replica of themselves. As hundreds to thousands of these replicas grow, we call these colonies, and that's where we get coral colonies from. Now, there's over 800 species of corals, mostly divided by hard corals or soft corals. But as reefers, we go way more in depth to that, and we get into LPSs, large polypstoni, and SPSs, small polypstoni, along with leathers, zoas, pallies, mushrooms, and more. Now, different corals acquire different requirements. There's photosynthetic and non-photosynthetic. Photosynthetic are the ones that grow well towards the light and also the food you're feeding them. Non-photosynthetic grow just by the foods that you're feeding them. So let's talk about photosynthetic. The best type of corals go depending on the type of lighting system you have on your aquarium, along with your reef system, established how well your life support system is. Now, when we get into great beginner corals, we love pallies, zoas, LPSs, mushrooms, and obviously leather corals. One of the more advanced corals is advanced LPSs and SPSs. A great SPS coral to start off with is monopore. It's an encrusting coral. But for our advanced reefers, that's when we get into acropora. Now, depending on the corals you have and you pick out and choose for your reef aquaria is going to depend on the lighting system you have on. Different corals like different requirements of light strengths. Not only that, they also have different mouth sizes because we have SPSs and LPSs, different mouth sizes taking different micron sizes of foods. That's when we get into phytoplankton, zooplankton, and we also get into many different types of amino acids and trace elements for these corals. One of the easiest ones we love to get people into to start off are mushrooms and pallies and zoas because these are the easiest ones and don't require such a strength on these lighting systems or as many foods as other corals require. To keep your corals happy, you want to make sure you keep the right water parameters, and that's a very important and vital sign for keeping your corals growing and consistent. You want to make sure your pH, your alkalinity, and your calcium always stay consistent by using the right products and the right additives to be successful by doing this. Other importance is actually coral placement. Where the corals are placed in the reef aquaria depend on how well the corals are going to grow. You don't want to be moving your hands in there as much because that'll actually reduce the coral growth. And by letting the corals take place, growing to the photosynthetic lights, you'll be more successful. And remember to leave it alone and let them grow by feeding them the foods that they need to survive. Here at Ocean Aquatics, we eat, sleep, breathe aquaria, and we want you to be successful with your corals. We have the largest selection of corals in the state of Rhode Island. If you have any questions or concerns about your reef aquarium, bring a water sample down and we'll test your water, and we want to make sure you pick out the right corals that are going to survive for your tank. If you're requiring something that can handle an SPS, we're not going to have you do an SPS. We're going to have you do mushrooms or leathers or softies. That's what we do. We want you to be successful. As always, if you have any questions, hit us up in the comment section below and let us know what your favorite type of coral is. As always, keep on reefing.